love that every time I start this game, I get to see my character's taint. I mean, is there anything better in this world? I mean, I could put pants on him, I guess, but where's the fun in that? What time is it? Oh, we might make the 3 o'clock gate. Hello, B-dubs. Congratulations on eating right. I had a bucket of ice cream and 6 peanut butter cups. It was all keto. But that doesn't matter. It's still binge eating. Actually, the peanut butter cups weren't keto, but they're like good quality. You know, they're not made of shit. Only have 5 strawberries left to sow. Nice. Did you do all the big ones and you're just stuck with little ones now? No, you're just going around the bottom. Yeah, start with the bottom. Work your way up. What do we got? What's the gate that's going on right now? Cliffhanger. Sure, I'll do a cliffhanger. So how are you applicating them on? Are you doing like a blanket stitch around the edge? Or are you doing a satin stitch and just doing a whole shit ton of stitching? Blanket stitch, okay. Cute. Yay, I did it. I saved the lost hatchling. Oh, he's so chubby. Oh, he's so chubby. Blow me. Yay. Alright, I guess we'll continue with Stormblood 4.1 since we beat it last time. Or we beat the first half of Stormblood. Boop. Can I fly here? I cannot fly here. Boo. Erenvald's adventure. We're going on an adventure with Rocky Horror.
Come to see how we're getting on? We've made good progress since we took back Alamigo, but there's one big issue we still have to address. Leadership. The Domans had Lord Hien ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here. Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Suffice it to say, our people have had their fill of kings, which means we need to find a new way forward.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion. For the time being, we're just going to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future. But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches.
I'm ready to do something till my jaw aches.
The reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Ah, there you are. I've been searching all over for you. Don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me?
Yes. Meet me in my private quarters. Oh. A waterfall makeout session.
I'll get to the point. Might you be interested in a spot of adventure? After all, we were adventurous before we were scions, were we not? After routing the Imperials and liberating Alamigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots?
Go on.
So, what say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
I'd like to explore the inner workings of your colon. It's what we do, I suppose. Right then, let's go and find Master Levelier. Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh from our little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetherite and we'll be along shortly. See you there. He wants me fresh for the adventure. I need a hero. I'm too lazy, so I'm just gonna teleport over there. Greetings, Bani. 'Twould seem we are to accompany Arenveld on some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please. Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Alamigo was still a monarchy and Theodoric sat the throne. A uniquely brutal despot, by all accounts. That he was, the King of Ruins suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the first ended with Ralgo's Reach being burned to the ground. In the later years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, and so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became the property of the king, and it said that these royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. I believe I see the direction of our adventure as to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth these hidden bounty. You assume correctly. And would I also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known? Others must surely have gone in search of your prize, tempting as it is. Well, of course we won't be the first to make the attempt. Following Alamigo's liberation, more than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dawn till dusk, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold lust drained away as quickly as it had come, and the legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend. But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine the three of us delving into a decades-old mystery. Tell me that the thought doesn't set your heart to racing. Ooh, I got a new emote. I got the boxing emote. Cute. I always see people doing this. Cute. Cute. Yeah, look at me boxing. Does it just go on forever? It just goes on forever. Awesome. I love it. The news of Doma and Alamigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the Imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in rebellion, which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time than now to indulge in such a diversion? Tell us, Arenveld, have you any clues as to where we might begin our search? Well, judging by how the other treasures hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't like to get us anywhere, so we'll probably need to, ask around? Would that be another way of saying no? Well, yes. I see. In that case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied archivists and request access to the records seized from the Imperials. The Garleans are meticulous about such things. If they uncover the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants and officials in Theodoric's day. Given that there would have been at least 20 at the time, you will be looking for people who have seen 40 summers or more. Anything then it can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful, so be sure to listen well. Arenveld, pray try your luck in the fringes and the peaks whilst Bani makes the rounds in the Alamiga quarter. Ha! And there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that in mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Gilbert's Gate. Alamigan Quarter. Can I fly here? I unlocked flying in 2 areas, but I don't remember which 2. Nope, not here. Shit. Oh, there is a crystal here. Wait a minute. Wait a tick. In the palace? No, not me, lad. Surely you've heard stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up on the divine audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffices to say that I stayed as far away from the palace as possible. A mature maid. You want to hear an old maid's stories, do you? Aye, well, most of what I know of the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he'd ordered, and after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow, and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but that mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. Kinky. How do I get out of here? Ooh, an aetherite, or an aether thingy. Aether current. I know words. Aye, I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric. and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life, and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't have blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which of course we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Aranold. He was the king's head scribe. Yes, I am Aranold. What do you want with me? You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories, yet if Alamigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public execution of his kinsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturges to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkest below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is kindness that the monarchy ended with him. This is some fucked up history. Is it any more fucked up than killing your old wife because you want a younger, prettier one? I mean, that I understand. Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin, then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures, and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself. But I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I concluded that our prize either does not exist, or that the Imperials somehow overlooked it. But what of you, Bani? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Oh, they were the fruitiest. Turned into monsters? And what could it mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Algiri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said naught of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could the scribe fellow be spinning him a yarn, do you think? Do you believe him, Bani? His fears seemed genuine. If he was afraid, that does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in a search. Do not be so hasty. Aranold's anecdote may well very have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there is a matter I would clarify. Arenvald, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garland blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamigan mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in the pureblood Garleans. My mother did care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar, and my bangs. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through the beginning, cunning or worse, through begging, cunning or worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated that animal I'd become. Eventually I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to an adventuring, and that road led me to the company of Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on an ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arenvald, and I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall, but I felt it best to be clear on your intentions. Well, Bani, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arenvald's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? Then I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting palace of the Mad King's Trove, if you are minded to hear it. Oh, I'm minded. What are we getting here? Accessory Marnies, apparently? Is one of these for healing? Sure. Ooh. The shit is this? Is this an earring? Oh my god, that's a cute earring. Cute. And a cute necklace to choke myself out with. And a cute bracelet. Ooh, I actually like this bracelet. And a ring. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Actually, mayhap it would be better if we first adjourned, excuse me. It would be better if we first adjourned to a more suitable location. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene on the southern edge of Loch Seld. Southern edging. Where are you? Do 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 do. Yeah. His cute little squirty sound effects. Forgive me, 'twas not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have the lock in sight while I explained things. Prior to the great flood of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines, and this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the Fifth Astral Era. From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Seld. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace, mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe, was not a reference to the prison, but to a place still further below, the ruins of Scala. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Wait, so you're saying that you meant to guard the Mad King's Trove? Precisely, and since you know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city will have been magically concealed. which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods knows how many Alamegans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain adventurers which they did not enjoy. Bani, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Ironvald and I will seek out an ensorcelled portal with the palace. Ensorcelled. There's a word we don't use enough. I would love to go swimming into the Loch Ness Monster. Ooh, this looks like an ensorcelled, magically sealed entrance to a dungeon. Pretty underwater snowflakes. You discover a passage that appears to lead under the palace foundation. Press on and find out where it goes. I've discovered a hymen. You come to a worn stone door, standing temporarily ajar. It would appear you have found an entrance into the subterranean ruins. My phone works underwater? Bani, it's Alfino. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a door sealed by enchantments. Have you aught to report? Ah, and you believe it leads into the ruins. Excellent. And I propose we proceed with our respective entry points and look to meet somewhere in the middle. Oh, come on, lads. We might as well make it a race. Victory goes to the first adventurer to find the treasure. Godspeed. The drowned city of Scala. Great, I get to do a dungeon. My favorite thing in the whole world. The drowned city of Scala. Ooh, I like the music. Kind of creepy music box vibes. It's okay. You've done so many dungeons in the past week. You've been doing so good. You don't need to be nervous. The tank did ask politely if they could pull a lot. My heart's racing today, though. Yeah, my heart races too much, though. The old one. I like him. He looks like one of those Pokemons that's like a giant jar with multiple limbs. I can't think of any other names right now. Oh no, we're all bunnies. We're all bunnies. What do we do? Clay Dow, yes. Yeah, it just reminds me of that. I know it doesn't look exactly like it, but it's that same vibe to me. I don't know what we're supposed to do here. Glad a Pokemon knowledge comes in handy. Do you remember the Pokemon that we named after you when I was playing Sword and Shield with the poison and the electricity? What the fuck was that thing called? Oh, I've been turned into a floofy monster. Toxtricity. Is that it? That doesn't sound familiar, but maybe. Yeah, where you could strum your titties. I like turning into these chubby monsters. I don't know what these are. Evolved from Tuxel. Okay. I guess I shouldn't have, I named it B-dubs as soon as I got it, so I never even learned its name. Ooh, some sort of griffin horned daddy. Watch his tail and claw, okay? Ooh, we did it! Oh, and the monster was a person, which we knew.
Oh, bugger it.
Booger it!
Are you all right?
My ass hurts.
Aye, everything's still attached.
Could you inspect me ass?
Ah, it seems both our paths led here. Very good. We spent altogether too much time fleeing fiends horrid and numerous. How fared you?
I made some nice friends in that dungeon.
Much the same, then. 'Twould appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin, or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune?
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Such antiquities.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
How do we haul all this shit out of here? Magic. Arenvald and I forged ahead at the fastest pace we could manage, but I was no surprise to find you waiting for us. I suppose it serves us right for challenging the Warrior of Light. Next time we should agree on some manner of handicap. We may have lost Alfino, but think of what we have found. Quite. I am still reeling at the sight of that mountain of riches. What, like how you reeled at the sight of that floating specter, you mean? You should have heard him scream, Bani. Must we dwell on such momentary lapses? We found the Mad King's trove, and that's all that matters. All jesting aside, we must tell people the good news, and I think Lys should be the first. Second, there is to be a meeting of representatives from across Alamigo, and she is sure to be in the city. Shall we seek her out? Let's speak with Lys. Oh, she's here. Well, all right then. Totally. All the little ones around my bottom are sewn. Just the one big one left. Nice. Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? I am glad you asked, Lys, and I'm pretty sure you're going to like the answer. We found riches, bitches. You're joking. The Mad King's trove. I thought it was a myth. So did plenty of people, but they didn't have Bani and Alfino in their party. The credit for finding it should really go to them. As for what to do with it all, I vote that it go towards alleviating the suffering of Alamigo's poor. Gods, if there's so much as you say. Arenvald did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it on our own. I have taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you will assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to find the treasure lies. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and that goes for the spending of it as well. Thank you. Or there is one other thing. When the time comes to draw upon a plan for disturbing the soils, I would ask that you consult Alfino. I don't have a head for details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing off sacks of gil won't solve anything, but I couldn't rightly tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome an advice you could give us, Alfino. Of course, I shall be at your disposal. Commander, we've got a problem. Deep breaths. Tell me what's happened. A mob's gathered outside headquarters, and they're starting to make demands. You'd best come and see for yourself. It's a big, unruly mob. You can't fight corporate America. They are big and we are small. You can't fight City Hall.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
Whoa, voice.
Bring her out! Bring her out!
What's going on?
Someone let slip about Fedorla.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it!
Language, jeez. Has there been swearing in this game before? Probably.
We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down! Calm down! That monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye! And my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Alamigo.
Hey, who's this?
It's
That's the Bull of Alamigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance, but we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth. Now is the time that we, the people of Alamigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves, and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried? I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Alamigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
burn the bitch.
I know you're right, I do, but I can't.
Come, brother, let me jerk the rage out of you. Would you like to slap her around a bit? My thanks, Roban. Listening to their anger, I could feel myself being swept away. 'Tis a difficult tide to stem. 'Twas the same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory, but now the war is over, all the unspent fury is being challenged into vengeance. Channeled into vengeance? Aye, and it's not just here. We've reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Garleans. It starts with insults most often, then someone picks up a stone. Some industrious souls have thought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or can live side by side in peace. But maybe that time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. The representatives will be here soon, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I'm even begun. Who are these representatives exactly? Oh, village elders, refugee leaders, and the like. It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own, so we've planned a summit of sorts. We've even invited the Anata and the Quiquern to participate. Alamigo stands at a crossroad, and this meeting will decide which path is taken. The matter of Fordola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings. Then let's execute her and be done with it. She herself asked to be put to death. Nago, I already explained why we won't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated and everyone who didn't resist? There would be no one left, and we'd be no better than Theodoric and Xenos. Begging your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Fordola? Only I caught a glimpse of her past, a moment of it, anyways, during the fight. She's done terrible things, aye, unforgivable things, but in some ways she's a victim of the circumstances in which she was born, and that's something I can understand. Alright, speak with the prison guard when you're ready, and I'll come and join you. I want to talk to her too. I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun to investigate the facility where they gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends. She will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does. Oh, I get to come too? You're the commander's permission to enter, yes? Yes, I do. I am the warrior of light. I don't need permission for shit. Hello, Clarice. I've given serious thought to eating your wife.
Well, well, well. So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you?
Oh, thanks for the posture check, B-dubs.
Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men. And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it! You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fordola. I see you for what you are.
Oh, baby Fordola.
Come along, Fordola. We mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right.
Father, what's Lord Gaius like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Alamigo. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
Ferdola, your dad's hot. He's got that Liam Neeson nose. You know how that drives me wild.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
Father, what did that man call us?
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart. A backstabbing bitch who gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore mother.
Language?
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
Ferdola!
Traitors!
Please! You have to do something! My husband and daughter are in danger!
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of arms.
We're citizens! We have rights!
Ah!
I'm scared.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive. Traitors! Traitors!
Thank God none of them can aim for shit. Uh-oh. Oh, that's going for a head. Oh.
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Ferdola, please! You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier? Oh, gods! What have you done to your face?
It's called makeup, Mom. I'm 14
Forgotten it
now.
already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't. no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
May the fist be with you.
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes. Wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past?
Maybe.
And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they? Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay! You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
Edibles. Just gotta chillax, dude. My dude. Now I really wish I would have named my character my dude. For those I have lost, for those I can still save. You know why you saw. Because I chose to. Because I choose to.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
We're going now. I'm just gonna leave this noose and switchblade here in the corner. You think about your life. I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. Aye, and I found something new to think about too. I don't know about you, Bani, but the visions only come to me every now and then. From the way Fordola kept wincing, though, I get the feeling she's having them almost all the time. That's a lot of bad memories to deal with. I wonder, could there be some fundamental difference between one who is born with the echo and one who has been artificially imbued with it? Well, the Immortal Flames have been scouring the research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they might have some answers for us. General Alden's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go and pay him a visit, shall we? We shall. Anon, ere long. General Alden is inside. Aye, will you be joining him? Yes, we will. Ooh. What news? You spoke with Fordola, I take it? Yes, as expected, she didn't say very much, but it wasn't a total waste of time. Ehrenwald noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her? We've been hard-pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the Scion's expert assistance if you have time to lend a hand. The device in which Kryle was held seems even more ominous now you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked supply subjects, while this one bears the label Master Subject. The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the aether of the occupant, save the one right here. Unlike the others, the interior has been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. Lise is up here. Where else is there to investigate? So many bodies, every one of them a victim of these experiments. Few show any signs of external injury. From what we've been able to determine, they perished from forcible aether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. That's fucked up. I know little and less of science, so any light you can shed on this facility's operations would be much appreciated. Bani, shall we start with you? Taken in combination with the testimonies of Kryle and Thancred, I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entailed infusing a single candidate with aether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case Kryle, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model under which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Kryle's echo. I believe so, which would explain our prisoner's present state. Kryle is possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. The soldiers who guard Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls, and there is sentry at her door, night and day, if she can't help sensing their thoughts and seeing their pass. But you don't just see their past, you live it. All the emotions, all the pain, imagine what it would do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed, as you may recall, Izael was completely transformed by a single glimpse of Hreisvalgar's past. Fordola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains her request to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of those experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, then we will be not to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They could give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn of all we can of these god-forsaken procedures, and Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish. Not yet. Right. Keep faith, lass. If you're to convince others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned. I understand. Thank you, General. We should leave the flames to it. Let's go. I go looking for answers about the Echo and end up getting schooled by Roban, yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Alden is a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his experience. I know, but I also know that I couldn't have convinced the mob to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority and how much I still have to learn. I wonder what he'll do when everything here is settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going to the trouble of winning it back, might he not want to stay? 'Tis a quandary which countless refugees now face, to continue the life they built in Ul'dah or start again in the land of their birth. Bani, a moment. Pippin! Pippin, I thought for sure you were going to die. And I am newly returned from Ul'dah with a message from the Sultana. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Well, I must away and attend to other business. Until next time, my friends. Bye, Pippin. An audience with the Sultana. Depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be the perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, we'd all like to know about those, Elfino, but not everyone's as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him, Bani. Well, the question of how to put the Mad King's treasure to good use shows no sign of answering itself. Shall we be about it, Ehrenwald? I am of your beck and call. And I should be getting back to my own tasks. I have organized a squad to head down to the ruins and then start preparing for the big meeting. Oh, send Nanamo my regards, Bani. And ours too, if you please. We shall see you at your return. Oh wait, I'm going to meet with royalty. I should put on my fancy clothes. Boop. 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 There we go. There we go. You are expected, my lord. Please proceed.
I thank you for answering my summons in these most interesting times. You have been busy. The liberation of Alamigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel.
Which lipstick should I wear?
I speak of Rauban and his future. All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Uldar home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo.
And I am his mummy.
And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side. I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend.
Oh, we know you, Bang. Don't play coy.
I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Rauban chooses to remain in Uldar or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears.
No longer can I discharge Rauban.
Might I have your company for a brief adventure? Wonderful. Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
Totally, I need to put on my Princess Jasmine Popperwear. Speak with Nanamo outside of the quicksands. That's the adventurer. What do you think of Lilira? Lilira, the merchant's daughter. This is the disguise I don when I wish to leave the palace and observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papa Shan would accompany me, but for this particular outing I need an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you have met people from all walks of life, in every corner of Eorzea, and I would make as use of your worldly experience. Now let us be on our way. Our first destination is Stone's Throw, just beyond the gate of Nald. Look upon this procession of tattered tents, these refugee camps in squalor, at the mercy of the elements and Thanalin's predators both. The city's mighty walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people as it is, and unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever hope to afford a dwelling in Ul'dah. 20 years have passed since the fall of Alamigo, and 5 since the calamity, yet the plight of the poor man has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me. You have done your best, Your Grace. Then my best has not been good enough. Shall we press on? I would follow the road to the unholy air. Anonymous, where'd you go? Whoa. Weird. Oh, there you are. There you are. It was here, in this wholly unremarkable place, that my mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interest in eastern Thanalin when an untimely rockslide crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was simply misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. Raban once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth he assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. Even if my parents' death was orchestrated by the monetarists, I could only have brought their hirelings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a biddable puppet, were even beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of its citizens, quite unaware of our consequences by action would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price of my naivete. But I am no longer a child of reciting words with witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the monetarist's damnable games. Forgive me my outburst. You are one of the few people to whom I feel I can speak my mind. Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Colosseum. From the moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of document signing and ceremonies. For years, I simply signed where I was told to sign and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from the ignominious chapter in my life, for it was during an official visit to the Colosseum that I first met Raban. The match I had been invited to attend was not at all what I expected. They had pitted the Bull of Alamigo against some dozen or so rival gladiators. Blinkered though it was, I would not stand for so obvious an injustice, and demanded to see a fair fight, one man against another, and my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that I learned of the gambling ring which had arranged for Raban to die at the sands of the day. Regardless, my interventions meant that Raban had been but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did, and when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore that he would one day offer me his blade in service. Surrounded as I was by liars and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But as you know, Raban is a man of his word. Though it took him another 5 years of fighting on the blood sands, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but a seat on the syndicate, and then I had my blade. Nice jacket. My jacket? Yeah, that's my gambling and my fancy wear jacket.
Your Grace, you mustn't! The danger is too great! Please, Your Grace, come back! I beg of you!
Totally, as she prances over dead bodies.
Your Grace, I have kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine. With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Uldar. And so, as tradition dictates, Rauben Aldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last.
Now get on my crotch and start munching.
Long live the Sultana, and long live Uldar!
Words cannot well express what that man means to me. There are others who can care deeply for my well-being, of course. Papa Shan's love for me is at that of a grandshire for his grandchild, but upon matters of governance, I cannot turn to the bodyguards and maidservants of her council. Raban, with the authority of his syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. His was the only edge which could cut the strings that bound me. So you wielded his sword till the edge. We must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan sworn for long, and there are other places I would visit. To the Arzeneth Asuri. Is that where the thaumaturges are? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Not that way. When the calamity threatened, Roban led the Alliance forces in battle on the plains of Cartano, and I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that Archon Louis would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day, I have made a custom of visiting this shrine during each of my little excursions. Here I seek the blessing of Thal, reflect upon my choices, and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as Sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in 100 battles for the good of Eorzea. In much the same way, I believe the measure of a monarch lies in how she leads her people in time of adversity. If I am to be a sultana worthy of the name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Uldar. I have chosen my path, Bani. With Alamigo now freed from imperial chains, I finally see a way to aid the refugees. Already many displaced Alamegans seek to begin the long trek home. To facilitate that process, I have made a small contribution, an artisan's school in Ralgar's Reach, for any who wish to learn new trades. Realistically, however, it will take years for some training to yield tangible benefits. But we do not have years. These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive, and this time the Uldar Treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds is, of course, another question. Might you ask a member of the Syndicate for advice? A wise suggestion. Mayhap a visit to the Gold Saucer is in order. Its proprietor is a member of the Syndicate, and he is one of the few who pay refugees a fair wage. I wonder, are you acquainted with Godbert Manderville? Then I need not explain his eccentric nature. Let us make our way to the landing, and I will see that word is sent to the Gold Saucer. Godbert should be only too glad to receive us. Godbert! That's true. We have all the Manderville quests to do for Heavensward and for Stormblood. Hello? Where was that? Where was that? Oh, the airship landing. I have ridden aboard a public airship before, but this shall be my first visit to the Gold Saucer. I must confess to some excitement. Ooh, I will show you all around. I go there every day. I had heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting. No, I couldn't possibly. We did not come here to frither away the royal coin. Godbert will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these gaudy temptations. I guess I don't know exactly where we're supposed to be going. Manderville Lounge, maybe near the Wonder Square West? I believe this is where we are to meet Lord Manderville. Shall we sit while we await his coming? My apologies, Your Grace. I have kept you waiting. No apologies are necessary, Godbert. My request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself available on such short notice. When my son's good friend of the Sultana herself come calling, there was no more important engagement. As to the purpose of my visit, I would have your thoughts on how the Crown might best aid the refugees residing in Nathanalin. You are aware, I am sure, that many of Alamigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to their newly liberated homeland, and you are also aware of how they will suffer without shelter and work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice have you for me in the matter of how it might best be distributed? The unusual circumstances of our meeting and your Grace's choice of companion would suggest to me a desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice to you is stop. Taxing Ul'dah's wealth to save Alamigan refugees is a terrible, terrible idea. You oppose my proposition? Most emphatically, I agree with your Grace that the refugees must have housing and employment, but what profit is there for Ul'dah in this arrangement? Profit? After all you have done for Gir Abania's displaced, I thought you the very last person to seek the benefit from their misfortune. Forgive me, Your Grace, but you appear to be laboring under a misapprehension. It is a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is one born of pity. Your intent is to save the refugees, is it not? for all our potential with our indolent creatures by nature, if unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it to expect it, and then we must consider Ul'dah's own poor and downtrodden. Should they hear of your spending the nation's coin not to improve their lot, but to nurture the distant citizens of Alamigo, it is unlikely that they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill. Whoa, that was a weird glitch. Indeed. Then any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency whilst also serving the interests of the people of Ul'dah. Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create a far more equitable relationship with the returning Alamegans, ever as it generates the revenue required to win the approval for your subjects. You have given me much to ponder, Lord Manderville. I thank you for your candor. The Sultana's duty. Duty. Manderville, you were far too clothed for that cutscene. Prophet, the thought never even crossed my mind, but standing among lamenting my naivete will not do anyone any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Bani, are you perchance acquainted with any successful merchants? If my attempt at philanthropy is obliged to reap and profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business. Ordinarily I would not trust any agent of the East Aldenard Trading Company, but if you hold this Hancock fellow in high esteem, I am content to be led by you. You may repay my faith by journeying to distant Kugane and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not the leisure for a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you will travel as an adventurer as adventurers are wont to do, I shall await your report by the Aetherite in Ul'dah. A fair journey to you, Bani, and a swift one, if you please. I shall teleport to Anime Japan right now. Bani, to what do I owe the pleasure? Are you here on business? I beg your pardon. Her Grace the Sultana would have my opinion on how best to invest the wealth of Ul'dah? My dear Bani, I have you to thank for this recognition, I am sure, and I am flattered that you came to me, truly flattered. But why settle for a lowly apprentice when you could have the master? Upon matters of profit, there is no living soul better qualified to advise Her Grace than Chairman Lolorito, a man whose morning excursions are said to fill his gander robe with gold. I should be happy to arrange a meeting for you, say at the Scion's former headquarters in Thanalin. The Waking Sands would seem a suitable neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Fare you well, Bani, and may your dealings prove fruitful. Nanamo. Where are you, Nanamo? There you are. Welcome back, Bani. Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share? With Lolorito, and you agreed to this? I am well aware of his standing in the field of business, but I had hoped to keep the monetarist at arm's length, and him in particular. Nay, I cannot live in fear of a man. I must learn how to treat with him if I am to rule Ul'dah effectively. Very well, I will meet with Lolorito. Let us go on ahead to the Waking Sands and prepare for this coming. Calming. Oh, did it teleport me to the Waking Sands? Sick. So, this is where the Scions first congregated. I have heard many tales, but never had occasion to visit. To work, then. The hour of the meeting draws near, and I would gather my thoughts. Pray, see to it that we have the appointed room to ourselves. Kill anyone who's in there, Bani.
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed. Though, if it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help.
Stuff it, Lolorito.
You have made your point. It is indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask. There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you as Lady Lilira?
Nay, the deception has served its purpose. I am glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolorito, but shall we proceed to the business at hand?
By all means. I must say, I am most eager to hear your proposal.
Alright, Lolorito has pretty eyes.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Alamigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate. But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Uldar and Alamigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolorito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
Ah, 'twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more. To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Alamigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent profits be promised to Uldar. Ha! I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would.
We're gonna start a line of chastity belts, specifically for Uldar.
Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I. Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
Oh god, the saltery? Salt's always an industry.
Ah, yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Saltery and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, And in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gil.
Yay, I made a smart choice.
The local citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Aldenard Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well versed in the extraction of this white gold and wring every last ons of profit from its production. The Loch's bounty will contribute to Alamigo's enrichment, whilst easing the burden on the bull's aching shoulders. Just as Your Grace desired.
A deal is struck then.
I fear will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations, but I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Bani. I could not have done it without you. Our course is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin work on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you one more time, Bani, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Alamigo. My thanks again. Together we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Alamigo and Ul'dah both. Bani, you're back. What did Nanamo? Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana? So Rauban says he's going to return to Ul'dah, but she isn't sure he wants to. Tell us something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this plan to revitalize the Sultry does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convince her to seek Lolorito's help is another question. After all that has happened, he is the very last person I would expect her to turn to for advice. But on a more practical note, Lys, assuming the interim government elects to accept Ul'dah's proposal, I have one caveat I should like you to include in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal, after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control. Honestly, Alfino, it's like Kugane never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss the proposal that is the Sultry's residence. Whisker, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana planning to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Watt thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything. Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Bani? I might need you to fill in the details. Then I shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances may prove useful. What manner of mischief brings you young'uns to Old Wat this time, eh? They want to rebuild the saltery, Grandad. Bani, tell him about the deal. Well, bugger me. We've never had the coin in our hand to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to cull the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Grandad. We'll take care of all that. Commander Hex has been talking about starting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the lock if I asked. I'd appreciate that, Whisker, my lad. Truly I would. So does this mean you've gotten better with the blade of yours? I've been training, aye, but mostly to kill Imperials. You have some experience hunting monsters, don't you, Bani? Think you could cast an eye over a few of the local beasties and teach me how to deal with them? Let's not waste any time then. I'll see you by the lock. Whilst you are busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Wat explain to me exactly what is required to restore the saltery to its former glory. Good hunting. Right then, Bani. I've got a spyglass here you can use to take a closer look at these pests. Once you get their measure, you can tell me what to do, and we'll see how well I get on. Search your surroundings for yabbies. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target a yabby and inspect it. Goddamn yabbies. Is that not a yabby? Are you a yabby? I don't think you're a yabby. But I can't move the camera any other way. Discover the yabby's weak point. Well, usually it's the grundle. Maybe it's belly? Yeah, I don't know. This is the only thing I can really look at. Oh, I see. There we go. I thought I clicked on its face as like one of the first things I did, but I guess not. The yabby's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. Ah, looks like you found a yabby. They say hitting their shells like smacking a rock. Any suggestions? Yeah. Vulnerable under the head, are they? Right then. Wish me luck. Good luck, my dude. I'll let you die if you can't handle it. Another innocent creature slain. Now, to a vegan lunch? Thanks, Bani. I did just as you told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of potatoes. Let's find something else. My dad used to carry us on his back and sing a song that was like, I got a sack of potatoes. Aw. Just like how you said it now. I think I can handle the yabbies now, so we should try something different. What else is out there? Search the surroundings for phobads. You may move the camera, blah, blah, blah. You're welcome, B-dubs. Alright, we're looking for weak points. We're looking for weak points. Hey, Razor. How's it going? The phobad's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should return the salt golem inanimate. Your sense power pulsing from behind its brow. Ugh, a phobad. How do I defeat one of those? Destroy the core within its brow. Such a weird thing. Inside its head, is it? I'll try to stab it right between the eyes then. Make sure to teabag your enemy after you take it down. It's not easy fighting with the Liberator of Alamigo watching your every move, but I got the job done. Thanks for the advice, Bani. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Any road, we should head back to the Saltery before Granddad starts to worry. I've been snipped into pieces and fed to the Yabby's hatchlings. I see you returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? Aye, fought them myself, after a bit of instruction from Bani here, like. Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad, a fine young man you've become, Whisker. A fine young man indeed. Too often of late I hear tales of folks over in the city, drunk on victory and hungry for revenge, their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights on the future, on things which'll improve our lot, things like getting the Saltery ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. Nice. Oh, I'm securing the salt all right. It seems Whisker has the Saltery security well in hand. I, meanwhile, have discussed the next steps with Master Watt and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could be made into very presentable dwellings. Message for General Alden. From General Alden, nonetheless. I'm in chat, the salt stores are refilled. Apologies for the interruption, sir, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. Do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I will remain here to hammer out the finer details with Watt, and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ul'dah. You should go. General Alden asked that you wait for him by the main gate in the Alamigan quarter. My apologies again, sir. Fare you well. Bani is extremely thirsty, and he's all out of his beverage. And it's been 2 hours, so you know that means I have to pee. But I feel like we haven't accomplished much. We did do a dungeon. Let's see what, stream for 40 minutes and then end? Why? Are you busy in 40 minutes? You need me to sabotage my stream because you can't be here? Man, we went for so long after you left last time. We beat the main story of Stormblood. It was most good.
Apologies for the wait. People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far.
It's like you don't even care about me. I don't care about anyone, B-dubs, except myself.
But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal. Aye, well, it would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the Resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
You care way too much. Yeah, I do too. It's all a front. It's a front to keep myself from getting hurt. I pretend I don't care, but really I care too much.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
Their lives would be forfeit. Execution is not the answer. Strap them down and JO them until they die.
Hear, hear. There is no more fitting sentence for the perpetrators of such a massacre, and that is but one of their crimes. In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard. Well, that concludes our business here. But there is more I would say. Walk with me.
I will. Can we get another upskirt shot? Maybe we could stand over a subway vent and you could Marilyn Monroe for me?
I bear a share of the blame for Ilberd's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamegan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did.
You can't lurk, B-dubs. I got 40 more minutes.
Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Uldar and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father...
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay.
A little part.
The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
Stop referring to your penis as your blade, Father.
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that's settled. Ehrenwald, what's news? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Anata have arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vera. They are Kalyana, the ones that summon the Primal. They're insisting they be allowed to attend the council. Lise is trying to reason with them, but she may need help. An invitation was extended to all of the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Kalyana would refuse at our hand. We had best go and see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of your forces and be ready for battle. Bani, you've dealt with the Kalyana before. I'd have you at my side. How do I get there? Let's weigh the shit over here. She's examining the cheese cat. Did you send her a meme of a cat made out of cheese? Amazing. Sent her cheese cat. Nice. It's a medieval depiction of a cheesemaker shop, and there's a cat on the shelves amongst the cheese. Ooh. Poor lactose intolerant kitty. Bani, Roband, gods, it's good to see you. Ah, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against the Ladies of Bliss. But we did not come here to shed blood. We claim to seek harmony with all who call Girabania home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of the Anata. It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I must ask that you first surrender any crystal's jewelry. You have my word that it will all be returned to you when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors. I reckon that's the closest we're going to get to compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords. Then we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber. Oh, you put it in the Discord? Food recipe pics. Ooh, it's her keto pizza. Oh, I see. Totally. Ooh, and it looks like an Egyptian Mao. Which I doubt is what it is, but man, it looks like that. It's all speckled backed. I have a feeling why do I have a feeling we've welcomed a Viper into our mix? A heavy chest containing a dye room weapon. Some sort of weapon for Bani? Check my inventory. I use this. Money goes down here. We use this. We use this. Wait, I can use that? Why can't I use this? There we go. Ooh. Ooh, I like this weapon. Yes, very nice. We'll keep this. Do I really want any of this, though? Probably not. Oh, this is better than what I currently have, really. It's the cheese cat species. Place an armory chest. Character. Best weapon. Oh, it is better. Holy shit. Oh, this is all better. Man, I really need to upgrade my shit. Alright, I'll put all this in there then. Place an armory chest, place an armory chest, place an armory chest. Shift. Best shit. Boom. Now, what level is my weapon? My weapon's level 180. Or 80, I should say. Yeah, this is much better. Actually... No, it's definitely worse. Okay. Return of the Bull. This Kaliana elder's intentions seem at odds with all we know of her tribe. What think you, Bani? The enthralled cannot be trusted. Mayhap even the enthralled can learn to compromise. Let's be optimistic, dude. You believe an understanding can be reached. It is not entirely unheard of, I suppose. Those who followed Saint Shiva eventually sought reconciliation with Ishgard. Whatever the truth, I would take no chances. The guard must be strengthened, ideally with people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the scions? I'll round up the comrades and send them to the Alamegan quarter. You can go on ahead if you like, Bani. My thanks. I will see you in the palace. Doot. Are you sleepy, Razor? Have a good night. Thanks for popping in, dude. Get some sleep. If you can't sleep, come on back. My voice is perfect for it. I'll lull you right to sleep. Bani, I have brought reinforcements. Ehrenwald told me of the arrival of our unexpected guests, and I agree that it would be prudent to call upon Y'shtola and Thancred as well. One can never be too careful when dealing with the enthralled. I am not familiar with the Kaliana tribe myself, but Alizé report suggests that they shunned contact with our races, despised it, in fact, even compared it to the other Anata. Indeed, this apparent reversal his attitude is most curious. No one expected a response to our invitation, much less an envoy, and I imagine Lys was forced to make some rather hasty arrangements in order to accommodate them. Speaking of which, how should we deploy ourselves? If the meeting is to be held in the throne room, 'twould seem wise to have eyes both inside and outside the palace. Y'shtola and I can stand guard without. That leaves the three of you to keep watch over proceedings in the throne room itself. Understood. We should join General Aldanin inside then. Bani, do you know of the rear entrance to the palace? It's on the eastern edge of the city at the top of the stairs. The guard there should have been instructed to let us pass. No, I don't know of it, but I'm sure I'll find it on my map somehow. Alright, and if there's sounds like there's gonna be potential battle, we should put my battle clothes back on. Gentlemen, may I be of assistance in this argument? You're with the Scions, sir. General Alden left other orders that you were to be escorted inside, if you'll follow me.
Thank you all for coming. I am Lys Hext, and I speak for the Resistance. Among you are village elders, refugee leaders, envoys from the Ananta and the Kikern. You've come from every corner of Girabania to help decide the future of Alamigo. But before that, I want to ask you a question.
Do you like my outfit?
What was the first thing you noticed when you came in?
Your cleavage.
For me, it was that empty throne. It has no one to sit on it now. No viceroy, no king. Would any of you like to take their place? Or should someone else sit there? Then let's sit here in a circle. As equals, and I hope, as friends.
Totally. Let's play Duck Duck Goose. We couldn't afford chairs.
Expertly done. Lys has removed monarchy as a choice early in the game, and positioned them to consider a joint government. All things considered, I would say events have got off to a fine start.
And that is Alagana's stance on the matter.
Thank you, Ragenford. Another vote in favor. Next, let's hear from Shanti of the Kaliana. Tell us, how do your people feel about the idea of a republic?
The Ananta wish only that those who dwell within Girabania devote themselves to our faith.
Oh shit.
You shall all worship Sri Lakshmi! Lady of Bliss, grace us once more with your beauteous visage!
This can't be happening. No crystals were allowed through the door.
We can worry about the how of it later. We need to evacuate these people right now, or the Primal will make thralls of them all.
It's up to us.
Alright, that might have been a little drastic.
Gods damn it! The guards were already turned! Fools!
No, you don't!
The Kaliana would see us all enthralled.
Then they're going to be sorely disappointed. We have the Warrior of Light and Arenvold to shield us.
Aye, but they can't well defend your guests and attack the Primal, can they? We're stuck on the back foot.
All right, I think I have an idea. Keep these people safe, General. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Whatever she's about, she'd best make it quick. Come then. Who will be next to die on my steel?
Oh, you say that to all the ladies. How do we fight her without leaving our allies wide open? We can't stay on the back foot forever. No. Damn it. If I think that we've almost lost, I have the Warrior of Light at my side. We can do this. Is that right, Bani? Use the duty action Deflect to dissipate the Aether Spheres Lakshima releases during the battle. Be warned that allowing any ally to be enthralled by an Aether Sphere will result in failure. Alright. I'm so good at these duty things. She means to enthrall everyone. We have to stop her. We must break through, forget the Primal, and focus on some other shit.
Why, I offer you peace and serenity.
And give up the freedom we've worked so hard to win? Not likely. Oh shit. Arenvold, get out of there, my man. Holy shit. Oh, I let one get through? Who got through? Alright, let's do that again. Bring it on. This is like tennis. I'm playing tennis.
Why, I offer you peace and serenity.
No! Fuck. Shit, man. Come on, we can do this. We can do this. If I can place this button on, I can't. It can only be there.
Why, I offer you peace and serenity.
No. Fuck me. I don't think I can do this because I don't have my... I'm not mapped to WASD. It's too hard for me to move. Let's try an easy one, I guess.
I offer you peace and serenity. I shall free you from your hate.
Jesus Christ. Woo.
Damn it all! It's only a matter of time before we miss one.
What of it? Do you want to kill this thing or not?
Defeat Lakshmi. Sri Lakshmi. Bring it on. Quickly now, while the primal is Lise. Everybody escape. I can't run away from this. They need us. Then we stand and fight together. Alfino, the envoys are in your care. Surely you do not mean to. Very well. I shall see our guests to safety. That's a problem. I can't move. She's after Lise and Roban.
Do not your souls weigh heavy?
Sweet.
We did it! We beat her!
What is this?
I'm only gonna say this once. The Ananta just summoned their primal in the throne room. My friends are fighting her, but they need help. They need someone with the Echo, and by the gods, I wish I had it, but I don't. I told you before that you still had time, but things have changed. I need your answer now. You can end it like Xenos, or you can fight for Alamigo. Your choice.
Seven hells. It's her, the Butcher.
Mic drop, bitch.
It's done. Take me back to my cell.
You are not forgiven. Not you. You I will never forgive. But I will thank you. For standing against a primal and saving us from servitude. You have my thanks.
Well fought, Bani. Arenvald, that was a near thing. Aye, our stand against the Kaliana would have been brief indeed, had you not volunteered for guard duty. We'd be enthralled as surely as our sentries were. They must have planned this far in advance. Security was my responsibility, and I know how dangerous primals can be. I should have... Gah, it was my fault. My stupid mistake. Nay, lass, we were all caught unawares. We will take this as a lesson, and watch our own more carefully in the future. You can be sure that the lackeys who smuggled the crystals into the throne room weren't the only thralls in our ranks. The soldiers who first spoke up in the favor of the Kaliana keeping their weapons springs to mind. A primal servant is betrayed by his aura. If you mean to conduct an investigation, I can identify any others acting under Sri Lakshmi influence. Thanks, Y'shtola. We'd appreciate the help. Speaking of her, I almost fell over when Fordola turned up. What was she even doing here? I asked her to come. Well, that explains it then. It's sad, but Ragnfrid was right. Her victims will never forgive her for what she's done, but I don't think Fordola picked up the sword looking for forgiveness. She wanted to fight for her country. If you say the world in which Fordola grew up is partly to blame for what she became, then as an Alamegan, I feel responsible for improving that world. We can't ignore what's happening right now. We have to show people a better way than vengeance. Or we risk giving birth to a new generation of skulls. I know it's idealistic, but I want to help people to let go of their old grievances and make peace with each other, and I'll hold 1,000 meetings and talk till I'm blue in the face, if that's what it takes. 'Tis a long and arduous path you have chosen, but one well worth making. Rest assured that I will do what I can to help you reach your destination. Thank you, Alfino. The first step will be to get our representatives back in the throne room. They're a little shaken, but no one of them seemed ready to run. We're all determined to finish what we started. I will see that you're not interrupted. Bani, you and the Scions are to stand down. Get some rest. We've earned it. Oh, I was just thinking about Xenos. He truly did love me, didn't he?
A fine spot to contemplate the heavens.
And that thick ass.
The meeting is over. The envoys have chosen to instate a government model on Ishgard's House of Commons, a ruling body of representatives elected by the people. It is a fair decision, and one which signals the end of my part in all this. But I would gaze upon Girabania's stars one last time before I leave.
Take me, Rauban. I'm gonna suck him off one last time.
Forget something? Your Grace, there was no word.
Oh, I love when you flash me by kneeling.
Rauban Aldin, you are hereby dismissed as General of the Immortal Flames and relieved of your seat on the Syndicate.
You're fired, bitch.
But, Your Grace...
Rauban, I am no longer a child. Stay here in your homeland. Work with your brethren. Rebuild Alamigo.
You desire to stand alone. I understand, but remember what happened.
I remember full well the consequences of my naivety, and thus did I consult at length with a most trusted advisor ere I embarked upon this course.
A most trusted advisor? And what of me? Am I no longer deserving of your confidence?
What trust can there be between us when you withhold the truth from me? Did you think me oblivious to the anguish in your eyes when you spoke of returning to Uldar? For years and years, we have trusted one another, yet now you refuse to confess your heart's desire?
I swore an oath to you that day on the sands. I pledged my sword.
And it has served me well. But in Pippin you have forged a new sword, as sharp and deadly as the blade you bequeathed him. I will show you a Sultana who can wield every weapon at her disposal, including Lolorito and his monetarist cronies. So follow your heart, please. You are home. You are free.
Nanamo.
Smile for me, Raubon. I would have this parting be a joyous one.
Thank you, Your Grace. It has been an honor to serve you and Uldar.
Tomorrow you will serve Alamigo and fight for the good of all Eorzea. Am I understood?
Yes, Your Grace.
Thanks for shielding us from Lakshmi, you two. If you hadn't been there, the rest of us would be worshipping her by now.
You're kind to include me, Lise, but we both know who did most of the work. I could scarce keep track of the battle, let alone land a telling blow. No shame in admitting it. The Warrior of Light has put far better men than me in the shade.
Did I mention that I encountered the Sultana in the palace? It would seem Her Grace has come to Girabania to oversee the final stages of her relocation project. She was in search of General Oldin, and I directed her to the rooftop garden. I do hope you were still there.
Are you in the habit of gossiping about the affairs of royalty, Master Leveilleur?
Yes?
Certainly not, Your Grace. I was merely informing my companions.
Be at ease, Alphino. 'Twas only a jest. But I must yield the floor to Raubon. He has an important announcement to make.
I'm coming out.
As of yesternight, I have been relieved of my post in the Immortal Flames and the Syndicate both.
I shall be assuming my father's duties. And may I say that Tizona has never felt heavier upon my back.
'Twould seem I am in need of employment. Mayhap one of my old acquaintances can introduce me to a mercenary company or some such.
You may be getting on in years, Father, but you'd struggle to find a band of sellswords who wouldn't snap your hand off. Your remaining hand.
You were disfigured. It's hilarious.
Yes, the bull of Alamigo need not be put out to pasture just yet.
Your Grace has developed a wicked edge to her humor, and you, Pippin, would do well not to laugh when the future may hold the same for you.
So, does this mean you're staying?
Aye. That seems to be the way of it. I would be glad to aid you in rebuilding our nation, if you'll have me.
If, he says. Welcome home, Rauban.
Well, that was unexpected. Though you seem distinctly unsurprised.
Well, I am a cunning cat
Either
boy.
you are more astute than I give you credit for, or I'm losing my touch. In any event, one thing is certain. Alamigo will rejoice at the homecoming of her dearest son.
I think it's about time I headed back to Ralger's Reach. What's next for all of you? Alize will be eager to hear of recent events, so I shall join you if you have no objections. I'd welcome the company, Bani. Why don't you come along to the Reach as well once you've said your farewells to Nanamo and the others? Upon completion of this quest, you will be able to access the palace's rooftop gardens by speaking to the royal menagerie attendant. Okay. Do I need to access them? Well, we're here again. Alfino has regaled me with a thrilling tale of hidden treasure troves, mid-meeting betrayals, unlikely alliances, and joyous homecomings. It would seem I missed everything. I was patrolling the palace grounds with Thancred and Y'shtola when we heard the report of a primal in the throne room. I honestly doubted my own ears. As others have said, we were lucky to have our echo-blessed champions nearby this time, but we'll need to keep a closer eye on the Kaliana. You can say that again. This whole episode has reminded me just how far apart our kinds still are. It looks like centuries of fear and mistrust really can't be washed away in a day, but someone has to make an effort at reconciliation if these conflicts are ever going to end. Naturally, a lot of people are crying out for vengeance, but I've been doing my best to calm things down. Violent reprisals will only lead to more summonings. Indeed, violence will ever beget violence, as the Empire has learned to its cost in recent times. In any case, summoning Lakshmi was the broodmother's doing, and whoever replaces her might not be so keen on the idea. We'll just have to watch and wait. Which isn't to say we won't be putting the safety of our allies in the Vera and M tribe first. I plan to have resistance scouts keep track of the Kaliana movements at all times. My parents will be relieved to hear that. What are your plans for the rest of the Resistance army, out of interest? Are we to prepare for Imperial counterattacks? That would be a question for the Resistance newest recruit, a military commander with far more experience than me. What? The Bull of Alamigo? We call it an army, but the Resistance is really a collection of smaller, independent groups, and when Conrad passed his command over to me, that authority only extended to the freedom fighters based in El Ralger's Reach. He just happened to be serving as a Resistance spokesman at the time, and needed someone to take over the role while everything was in disarray, but the time has passed. When I speak with the other leaders about reforming the army under the new government, I'll be nominating Roban as the overall commander of one force. He has more experience than the rest of us put together, and we stand to learn a lot from him. Indeed, he is in all respect the ideal choice, assuming that he accepts the post. Alamigo will have added a formidable weapon to its arsenal, and given the progress of Nanamo's resettlement initiative, I see great cause for hope. The seeds which we so carefully sowed have begun to quicken, my friends. I like that. We tend to our promises and watch as Alamigo blooms. Gosetsu? I do give thanks to the kami that my makeshift raft withstood the fury of the seas. But their generosity ended. With coins in our pockets for new attire, we are doomed to look like so much jetsam? I clicked through accidentally. These dango are delicious. Will you have one? More sweetbreads. I surrender my blade to secure what few coins we have. What is going on with these two? Did she get amnesia? Bah, this like talking to a child. Why fate saddled me with this burden I shall never know, but I am alive, and I must return my master's side. Come, Suyu. We shall find a ship to carry us across the Ruby Sea. Yeah, she's definitely got amnesia or something. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace... Have you read the reports? First Doma, then Alamigo, and Lord Xenos put to the sword. Do not believe everything you read. I hear the Viceroy was merely wounded, and that he has already returned to the capital. Naturally, the savages beat their chests and boast loudly of taking his head, regardless. Nay, Lord Xenos lives? Deplorable that our own officers should be fooled by Eorzean misinformation. Small wonder that province has begun rising up in rebellion. We must prepare an official, and above all, accurate announcement to quell these pernicious rumors. They would wage war with empty words. Let them produce the Viceroy's remains then. We shall soon put the lie to their claims. Who this be? Sweet. Alright, I need to use the bathroom, so we're going to take a potty break. And then I'll be right back. Let's see. Actually, I'm changing my mind. I just stood up and got a really bad wave of nausea, and I'm not feeling good all of a sudden. So I think I'm just going to end here. We're at a good place to end in terms of the story, too, I think. So I will continue. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming, I believe I'll be streaming some more Elden Ring with Sine. I gotta ask him if he wants me to stream or if he just wants to hang out, just the two of us. I don't know what he's thinking, so but more than likely I'll be streaming that tomorrow during the day, and then maybe some more Final Fantasy in the afternoon. But all of a sudden I just feel really nauseous, and I don't know why. That's weird. Alrighty, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. If not, have a good weekend, and maybe see you Monday.